about that party I went to?
No, I didn't. I didn't read anything. What did you do?
Yeah, it was in the paper that I was there, but this was pretty cool. Over vacation, I got invited to John Bon Jovi's house, who we've known for like 20-something years, John, you know.
Yeah.
And I'd gone to his house last year, and he had a dinner party, and he even said to me, he goes, man, I fucking blew it. He goes, I didn't have any food. He goes,
How do you have a dinner party with no food?
Like, he just kind of like had people over for drinks and some shitty hors d'oeuvres.
Oh.
And he even called me up, and he goes, I'm having a party this year. He goes, but don't worry, I got it fucking right.
He figured it out this year.
Yeah, and I went, well, what are you doing right? He goes, you know, I got a little band set up, and I got food, and I got everything, you know. So I said, oh, I'll come anyway. You know.
give him a second chance.
I'll give you a second chance. And I had my 14-year-old daughter with me and her friend Sarah, and you know, I said, "Hey, John, can I bring the kids?" And he was like, "Yeah." So I go over there, and there's like, he's got a whole setup, you know, like nice, friggin' tables and shit.
Is this out on the lawn?
Out on the lawn at his house, and. So, like, I'm there, and like, it was like one superstar after another starts. Well, first I see, like, the governor of New Jersey, John Corzine, who I knew nothing about, and I got to tell you, is like the fucking greatest guy ever.
What do you mean he's the greatest guy?
I'm telling you, this guy.
I've heard some not so good things.
Really? What have you heard? Because I'm telling you, he is terrific.
Well, you get bowled over by everybody you meet.
You would too, though. This guy you would, though. This guy you would.
All right.
That's why they're politicians.
Oh, it's true. What's so great about him?
Because he's the most down-to-earth politician I ever met. He was like a business guy who did really well and seems to like really care. I mean, like he was talking about some of the shit he's doing in Jersey. I was like, whoa, this fucking guy's really way into the gig.
He lives right next to me.
He was the one who rushed back to the IMUS meeting and almost killed himself.
He even talked about it. That was so stupid. He goes,
yeah, that's why I'm wondering about his judgment.
No. You would really like this guy. I know you would. I'm
sure I would, but I like having my distance from these people.
Yeah, well, anyway, let me tell you about this party. So I'm standing there, and you know, with parties, I'm always like on edge because, you know, we goof on a lot of people.
And yeah, you never know when you're going to run into somebody you've forgotten how badly you goofed on.
So then, like, you know, I see like Matt Lauer and his wife. No, Matt I'm cool with.
Yeah, but they've had a lot of trouble in that marriage. At least that's what the tabloids say.
Yeah, you know. But they were fun. They were there.
Hopefully they can keep that at home.
Yeah, they don't break up in the middle of parties.
Don't bring that to John's.
I saw Brian Gumbel and his wife Hillary, and I saw, you know, like there's sort of like a usual crowd out there in the Hamptons. You know, they're all people who own homes out there, so they all kind of.
I didn't know the Gumbels were out there.
Yeah, they're out there. They're nice people. You know, he's cool with me, and I'm cool with him. And then, you know, and then all of a sudden, like some. Like heavy people started to show up, like Paul McCartney, Billy Joel.
Really?
Paul
was there?
I'm walking through the house, and I run into Roger Waters from Pink Floyd.
Wow.
And I'm sitting and talking to him and his wife, and it was kind of a really fun, cool, you know me at parties. I'm like, and then I'm walking over, and my daughter says to me, hey, Dad, can you introduce me to Bruce Springsteen? So I go, is he here? So this is like Artie's wet dream. So I go over, because I met him once before, you know, for a second. And all of a sudden he's like, hey, Howard, how you doing? We talked for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We're talking about, he's like, you know, talking about, like, he can go to his old hometown. And I told him, you know, Artie lives in Jersey and you live in Jersey, and I told the governor that too, you know.
yeah, that's my governor.
Actually, the governor lives like really close to me.
Yeah, he's a Hoboken guy.
Yeah, he's right
That's what
there.
he said.
I see him all the time.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm talking to Bruce for like a long time until then he pulled the move where he goes, oh, I got a phone call here. I got to take this. Got to go somewhere quiet.
Really?
Yeah.
So he blew you off, you think?
Well, yeah, but it was appropriate. I mean, we had
it was enough.
It was going nowhere. I was getting into my Roosevelt stories about my hometown. And it was
Roosevelt, Long Island.
I don't think he wanted to bond that much.
I thought you meant the president.
No.
Yeah, Howard, the goddamn blacks. I get it.
My phone is ringing.
I wanted to ask him if he would do American Idol or not to solve that problem.
Please, you have no idea that this is my greatest torture, that fucking show is starting up again and Bruce has an album out. And I'm like, is there anybody in the business who could talk him into it? And first of all, did you read, what scared me the most is I read this amazing article about Rick Rubin in the New York Times Magazine. Did you read that fucking thing?
Yes.
And I'm reading it going, and he's praising how relevant now
American Idol is.
Well, Columbia Records hired Rick Rubin to save the music business, and he's saying how relevant America's Got Talent and American Idol is. And I was thinking of that exact same thing. Is someone going to talk Springsteen into fucking doing American Idol?
When I read that article, I said, Dave, Springsteen might be smart to do it. But I get the feeling he won't do it because I was talking to him and Billy Joel.
Right.
And Billy was talking about how he got paid a ton of dough to do some sort of wedding or something. And I looked over and Bruce was kind of like,
he would never do that.
The whole wedding thing?
Yeah, I got a feeling.
He has some integrity left?
Yeah, and it was kind of like, well.
Supposedly he's never done it. There's never been one even like quiet instance of a corporate gathering where he's done
or a personal
I don't think
party thing.
I don't, unless it was a charity.
Yeah, but
something.
Bruce does weird shit for his kids. Like it turns out the reason he was out in the Hamptons, his daughter is a horseback rider, a jumper, and she was in the Hamptons Classic, and he went all the way out there, and he's hanging out there with her for that.
Well, that's not weird for a dad to show up at his kid's event.
I don't say that, but I'm saying he might even want to impress his kids and go on American Idol.
Well, that's how they wind up
that's
there.
Right.
Yes.
It sucks for me and Robin as homeowners of the Jersey Shore that Springsteen and Bon Jovi are in the Hamptons with you guys.
Know.
Well, that's what Corzine was saying. He was like, what the fuck is this?
He's over there recruiting them to come back.
Right.
Hey, did you guys ever speak? Did you and Springsteen ever speak about satellite radio at all? And like his whole
no.
Because supposedly his new album, the first single, mentioned satellite radio and all that other shit.
Nah, I didn't talk to him about that. And then so let me tell you about this. So then I'm walking around and I run into, so who do I see walking in? Chevy Chase.
Oh!
Now there's something that could go either way.
Yeah, I did see him in California and we worked our shit out.
Right.
And it was no big deal, but Janie was with him, the wife, who evidently, like, I heard
she's still on the warpath.
Yeah, it hates me. So I saw Chevy and it was great. We had a really good conversation, quite frankly. And then all of a sudden, Janie came up to me and we worked our shit out, too.
Oh, did you have a peace talk?
Yeah, so I was trying to describe to Beth how bad things were between me and Chevy and Janie and the history of that whole thing on our show. So I'm going to bring her a tape so she can hear it.
God.
Because she was like, well, what are you so nervous about? I go, well, dude, you have no idea.
The guy has threatened me.
Yeah. And then Frank Gifford dropped out of the ceiling. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. But anyway, for the most part, it was kind of cool. And then I see this chick sitting with Roger Waters and his wife, and I thought it was like Gwyneth Paltrow, but someone told me it was Naomi Watts. But I don't know. I didn't know who she...
You can't tell these blondes apart.
I can't. I didn't know who it was, and he's showing me her baby pictures.
Was she pregnant? Or did Naomi...
She just had a baby.
Oh, she just had the baby.
So that must be her, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I don't know a lot of these people. You know what I mean? Some of the younger starlets. I'm sort of out of it.
Don't be like that. Some old codger.
I am, though.
Know people.
I am an old codger.
Oh,
I was like, I don't know who this broad is. I thought it was Gwyneth Paltrow.
You know Jay-Z's artist before any of us.
That's true. So I'm getting like my dad. I'm like, which one is this? The Gwyneth Paltrow?
Who is she?
Who is Naomi Watts? What was she in? So I know who that is. So I didn't know anybody. A lot of people I don't know. But then after dinner was served, John got up with this band he had. He had a band from Jersey there playing. And then John did a couple of songs, which was really cool. We all sat around and watched them. And then all of a sudden he goes, hey, come on, guys, come on up here. And Paul gets up and does the song.
They had like a jam session?
It was Paul McCartney, Jimmy Buffett, Billy Joel, John Bon Jovi.
Did Roger?
Roger got up and did Wish You Were Here.
Wow.
I mean, it was, it was pretty fucking crazy.
Blowing.
Yeah, Bruce didn't get up, though. I think he had left by then.
No kidding.
Yeah.
See, maybe Bruce won't do American Idol. He didn't even do the jam session.
It was a way cool party, and then it was reported in the newspaper that I was there, and I was rocking out.
Oh, really? Were you?
I missed that. I missed seeing that.
You miss seeing what?
The you in the paper, and I usually try to read the papers. I miss seeing that you were rocking out.
But I wasn't. I was clapping. Like during a jam, if you just sit there, you look like a dick.
Right. You got to do something.
But it was kind of sweet because, even Chevy Chase goes, "Damn, my phone won't work. I don't know how to work the camera on this phone." And he was
trying to get pictures.
He's trying to take pictures of it, and I said, "I don't know, man. I don't know anything about it."
Well, I have to officially thank you on the air for the weekend you gave me. Howard got me a ticket to see Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers out in the Hamptons, and I stayed with him, and it was just the fucking greatest weekend of my life. How great was Tom Petty, man?
Tom Petty was awesome.
You went to see Tom Petty too?
I did, and I got to tell you something. I had another mind-blowing experience in terms of music.
Thank you, by the way, for that, dude. That was very nice.
The night before Artie showed up, we got a great story about Ralph and all this shit. But
really?
Yeah.
I have results concerning a bet that you guys might have had, too, about Ralph.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right, good.
Are we going to learn all about this?
There's a big Ralph incident happened.
A major Ralph thing.
What is a major Ralph incident?
Well, we're going to get to it. There's a lot to get to.
See, now I'm totally intrigued.
Anyway, so the night before Artie shows up, I invited Artie out to stay at my place because out there in the Hamptons, they were having a concert with Tom Petty. And it was kind of cool. Because it's not a lot of people. It's like 1,500 people tops.
Right.
And they serve a dinner and the whole thing. And, that's pretty cool to see a guy.
Unbelievable, yeah.
In that smallest setting. So, anyway, the night before, I got invited over the guy who owns Sirius's house. Leon. And I went over, and he usually has a dinner party for a few people every year. And, of course, I go. He's a good guy. And this time, though, it was a little bit bigger party on the beach and everything. And then he built this structure on his house, and he had Tom Petty show up at his house and play for all of us.
Jeez.
Wow.
Play for me.
Yeah, well, there were maybe at that point 60 or 70 people there.
Oh, my
So I sat down on a couch, like in a living room.
Could you imagine?
And watched Tom Petty do an entire concert.
Oh, my goodness.
It was friggin' awesome.
Now, did he do the same set the next night?
Pretty much, but actually even more classic tunes at...
well, I'm just wondering, does he do the full concert at Leon's, or does he...
full concert. He was paid full... It said in the paper he was paid $850,000 to show up.
Wow. Goodness.
But, I don't know if that's true or not.
How many do each Heartbreaker get?
850,000 for Tom Petty?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
I said, hey, you could have gotten Cheap Trick for $10,000.
When you go see Tom Petty in concert, though, you don't realize, God, that's his song too. He's got a million hits.
He does,
and they're all, and he plays them all. He doesn't fuck around.
850,000 to come to my house?
Hey, look,
so anyway,
what are you gonna do?
Anyway, I was seeing Tom Petty the next night, and I guess that's how he got Tom Petty, because Tom Petty was around.
In town,
and he figured, hey, I'll pick up a couple extra bucks.
Why
a couple
not?
extra shekels.
So anyway. Well, that's what these guys make. Like they paid these guys. Tom Petty got paid $1 million to show up at the Hamptons.
Well, that's a concert. You could see. I always wondered, but I mean, look again. It's 60 people, private home.
You know what? I should have studied an instrument.
Yeah, you really blew it with this radio thing. So because it's cool, you go out, get $1 million,
people just throw money at you.
Yeah, and it's fun. You sing. So anyway, okay, so Artie was coming out. He wanted to see Tom Petty. He said that to me. I said, I can get a ticket for you. We have an extra ticket. And he says, good, yeah, I'm going to stay in a hotel. But I said, no. You stay with me. Of course you come out and you stay with me. So I was excited to see Artie socially,
Yeah.
It's fun to do. So where do I begin?
Yeah.
So I guess I kind of like...
The helicopter.
Beth and I were talking, actually. I never discussed this with Artie, but, I said, Beth kind of even said to me, do you think Artie thinks you're fun? And I go, I don't think so.
Wow, this is an interesting conversation.
Yeah, so I said, and she said, what's going to happen, if you want to take a nap or something? I said, yeah, Artie might bum out.
Take a nap.
Because what will Artie do till the concert?
What do you do out there? You nap?
I'm all about naps.
I'm always napping, and I'm antisocial. So she said, why don't you invite Ralph?
So he can entertain Artie?
So he can at least, because doesn't Artie like Ralph? I go, I think Artie likes Ralph. You never know,
But you're not sure. Ralph. You're not sure.
I said, it might be nice to have that dynamic going where Artie has a, guy hanging out there.
And when you're napping, Ralph can take up the slack.
Which actually was not a dumb plan, because I come off a nap and I go downstairs and I see Artie and Ralph in the hot tub together.
Yeah, we went in the pool. Well, we went for a walk on the beach and had a couple of mini cigars.
Did you hold hands?
And of course, Artie doesn't bring a bathing suit, but Ralph cut up a pair of sweatpants for Artie, made a mock bathing suit.
I had no plan on going in the pool.
You were so happy in the water.
No, but then I looked at the pool. It was so inviting, And
I mean, you're going to a guy's house. You bring stuff.
Artie was weightless in the pool.
I had my own room. My room looked out onto the pool and the bathroom.
Well, what did you think he was going to do with you?
I put him in a sewer.
Where was is he going to put you in a tent
and I said,
the back?
We took a walk on the beach, and I said, you know what? Fuck it. That pool looks great right now. We had a few hours, and I told Ralph, go get a pair of scissors, and we'll cut up my sweatpants. So that's exactly what he did, which was good. That's like a fashion project for Ralph.
Yeah.
Most guys would punch you in the face.
That keeps him happy. So you were keeping him occupied.
I bet it made him happy, as Robin points out. And also, I bet he did a great job.
He did, actually.
I never actually saw the bathing suit. You were in the water the whole time.
They're very even and everything. But I would like, maybe in the future.
I realized, too, you wouldn't come out of the hot tub till I left. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't need that
wait a minute. You let Ralph see you in your suit.
Well, Ralph's microphone isn't on 5 hours a day.
Well, it's funny because I'm sitting there and I go, boy, these guys. I said, these guys are like, Artie goes, I'm boiling like chicken soup because he's in the hot tub. And I said, and I left, and then I was walking up to my bedroom and I look out the window and I see Artie's emerging.
Yeah, he sprung out of
and
the
I said,
hot tub.
he didn't want to get out of the hot tub in front of me.
Me and Ralph were trying to think of a rap in case we got chicks back there at night, like how to pretend it was our house. So we needed Howard to give us information about stuff. Like,
yeah, right.
Like, what's
but
this?
Isn't it interesting that you think so much about what Howard's going to comment on?
It's not totally true. I mean, look, Howard. I mean, I'm not in the like a young Starsky or Hutch at this point.
Anyway, he doesn't realize I love him. I love him fat or skinny.
Right, yeah, he doesn't care.
Thank you.
Anyway, so
if only broads were like that.
So anyway, we.
So that part was fun, Yeah, they had an amazing meal set up. I mean, I can't even explain how beautiful the whole experience was. Food.
It was great to hang with Artie outside of the show. And
I took a helicopter out there because I've never done that before. I've been on helicopters, but never out to the Hamptons. I said, fuck it, I'll splurge. And that's kind of where the Ralph situation starts.
You want to start that story?
I guess I could.
And Gary's a part of this, too, by the way.
Well... So I said to myself, I'm going to go out. Howard made this nice invitation, and I said, fuck it, I'll splurge. I'm going to take a helicopter out there. And so I don't have to deal with traffic. And I found out there's a helipad literally yards from Howard.
Whatever. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's okay.
It wasn't going to make your trip very long.
It was very convenient.
I hope I don't that. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, it was a very convenient situation. So I price the helicopter.
It ain't cheap.
And no, it's not cheap at all. And, Gary the whole time was like, please, let me pay for half of this. But he was even more than he thought. And I was like, look, Gary, don't worry about it. It's fine. I was going to do this anyway. I'm happy to have the company. Ralph, the last minute, sort of the day before, says, listen, I'm coming. So what time do I have to be at the...
He doesn't even ask you. He just assumes he can do this.
No. I checked out that it was okay.
Right. So, no, he called the day before.
All right.
But it turns out, and again, it's just weird how stuff with Ralph just makes a minor adjustment when something goes wrong. The guy had to get another helicopter because it went from 2 to 3 people.
Oh.
But it was it was worse than that because I got really maybe the most insulting phone call I've ever gotten from Artie's assistant, which was he needed to know how much I weighed. I swear to God. So then he goes, and I think at one point he goes, all right, 220 and 300. All right, we're going to have to get a bigger copter.
Yeah, right.
Because 3 guys needs a bigger copter because of the weight.
Teddy, a master in etiquette. So anyway, so they had to get a different, which I found out I was going to get this really cool helicopter that's sort of like a state-of-the-art thing, and now they had to switch it to a little bit of an older one.
A Toyota with a wing.
Like the one they use for construction.
Yeah, whatever.
So already Artie's, he goes, man, if Ralph's going to be late, I'm
I start
leaving.
Stressing about that because I wanted to get out there on time and everything.
Right.
It turns out because of fog, we were delayed anyway, but at no point.
In other words, it would have been quicker if they drove.
Not quite, but almost.
Yeah.
There was a lot of fog, which fucked everything up. But we got out there on the helicopter. But at no point does Ralph even think about saying thank you or, look, can I pay?
Right. How much do you want me to chip in? Nothing like that ever comes
Can
up.
I tell you something? I get to the place first where the helicopter
Not that I care, but again, my God.
I get to the place first where the helicopter takes off from. So I walk in, I go, is this where I'm supposed to be? Ralph, I mean, I can't tell you he did anything wrong, but there's a way he walks in, as if it's his place.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like he walks in, they have like Hamptons magazines out. Like there's another couple there. Ralph walks in, like sort of doesn't look at them, like picks up a magazine, starts thumbing through it, talking about how great the trip is going to be as if he takes it every week.
Right.
It's just a funny way he is.
Right. It's Ralph.
Ralph acts as if, yes.
And so I'll get through this and then I'll hand the ball off to you
No,
at
no,
some
keep
point
going.
here.
No,
but
no,
I
no.
just so
He
because
tells it
it's a
better than I do.
long thing.
Go on. I'm intrigued. I could hang on every word.
So we get out there and
hang in on this one.
because they changed the helicopters, the car that was coming to get us didn't know what was the right helicopter to get. They had information about the old one that was just 2 people. So now with just 3 people, with just new helicopter, the guy didn't know where to go. So indirectly, we had to wait an hour for a car once we landed. So it really was like we might as well have walked.
Right.
And and again, of course, you don't blame Ralph directly for this, but it's just so funny that it's something Ralph caused indirectly that made this mayhem sort
All
of happen.
All of a sudden, it just wasn't a smooth trip.
Yeah. And
But I gotta tell you, Howard, Artie is stressing. The two of you guys you guys stress out on so much stuff. Howard's having a little barbecue. And Howard's stressing because he wants it to be good. And he wants everybody to be on time. And now Artie's stressing that he's fucking up the barbecue.
Right. Well,
and
you know what he's thinking about?
He's freaking out.
Nap.
No, he's thinking about being late to Gary's party for dinner. And how badly that went for him.
Right.
He screwed up the whole
but this wasn't
dinner.
his fault.
No, but at one point, Artie shut the phone and goes, Jesus Christ, I can't control the weather. I'm going to be, he was just bumming out that he's going to be late.
He was stressed out.
No, I'm just saying Artie knows that he and he doesn't want it to happen again.
Right.
Actually,
I had forgotten completely about fucking up Gary's dinner. But anyway,
I did too.
I remember everything.
I recall that I did. So anyway, there's that nuttiness going on, and fine. It's like I didn't expect anybody to offer this, but still, it's a nice gesture.
All right. So wait. So go ahead. So you guys get to my house,
Right.
and that's okay. It's fine. To get to the house, we're having a perfectly reasonable afternoon, and that night is the Tom Petty concert.
And me and Ralph did hang. We sort of bonded, the pool thing and everything. And
Right.
we were having fun.
So,
we started drinking.
He did something. He made you a bathing suit.
Right,
Yeah, and these
exactly.
guys were drinking and having a good time. And
We had a
all that
great
stuff.
meal when we
Yeah.
landed, and we started boozing. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. We were all having a good time. And, I got my nap.
And Ralph kept Artie
company as planned. And it just, everything was going good. So I say to the guys, look, we're going to have dinner at the concert, and everyone be ready. I got a car coming and everything so we could all drink.
Right.
Got a car coming at 7 o'clock. Everyone be ready 7 o'clock or 7:15, whatever the time is, I say.
Forgot about this part.
So we're walking out the door. Everyone's ready promptly, 7:15. We got this thing timed out. And I look over, and Ralph is 2 minutes before 7:15. 7:13 starts making phone calls because he has to plan his trip to California, and he's trying to get airline reservations. So I said to him, you motherfucker. I said, it's 7:13. And
he had all day.
He goes, please, it's not 7:15 yet. It's 2 more minutes. I go, but we're ready now. We all want to leave.
He's on one coast arranging for the next coast's plan.
Yeah. And I'm like, you had all afternoon to call. Like, why would you call it 7:13? Well, you said 7:15.
But he can't get anything done with an airline in 2 minutes.
No shit.
Exactly.
So I said,
yeah, that's the point. Absolutely.
I go, hang up the fucking phone. So he hangs up the phone. Okay.
Which, by the way, thank God Howard was around to say that, because anybody else would not have hung up the phone.
He would have made you wait.
Yeah. Oh, no, I would have just left. I was nice enough. I must have been in a good mood because I said, okay, hang up the phone. We should just pull out and left.
Now, keep in mind, I had a drink at this point. Ralph had started drinking, right? So he was about 2 or 3 drinks deep into the evening.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So now we go in the limo.
We go in the limo, and I'm not going to.
Do you want to?
No. All right. So we go in the limo.
All right.
There's some parts
editing.
and
that's not fair.
No. It is.
Don't tell me anything you're leaving out. Just tell me a story.
Okay.
I
well.
won't know if you don't say something like that.
Sorry, we haven't rehearsed this. All right. So anyway,
You're supposed to be a professional.
Anyway, we get in the limo, and Ralph starts. And he's got to pee. I have to pee. I have to pee.
I knew it. I was going to say, he's got to stop to go to the bathroom.
Well, wait. So I said, Ralph, why didn't you pee before we, like a little kid? Why didn't you pee? I didn't have to go at that point. I go, yes, you did. I said, it's 5 minutes into the trip. What the fuck is wrong with you? You can't pee. There's no way to pee.
But not just saying I have to take a leak. Writhing around on the floor of the limo like a second grader going, I gotta get yelling at the driver.
Yelling at Terry.
Really rude.
What do you mean yelling?
Like, do an impression of what he was.
Almost like Terry is getting us, a really nice guy, is getting us to the fucking concert. He's driving at a reasonable speed.
Right.
We pull up to the entrance, and Ralph, like a third grader, is rolling around.
Terry, where are we?
Terry, come on, get us there, Terry. What are you doing, Terry? I mean, like screaming at him because he's not getting us there quick enough so he can piss.
Oh, geez.
So, okay.
Is this a mental condition?
Wait. This is nothing.
And we all have another couple drinks in the limo, So
now so he's drinking on top of.
Right, the night's rolling.
I don't remember him drinking in the limo.
We both had a drink in the
did you
limo.
really?
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
All right. So I don't recall that, but okay, because I don't think I was drinking actually. Yeah, I've been so sick, and I would never drink in a like to me drinking. These guys are really into drinking.
We took a drink into the car from your house.
Oh, so you were carrying glasses,
right?
Well,
okay.
Just
that's a Ralph move for sure. So anyway, we get to the concert, and now there's like a lot of people there that I know, and security people and things.
Press,
and it's a red carpet.
And it's red carpet and press. And one of the guys, the security guys at the event says to me, yeah, your whole group is inside. He goes, and there's one guy pissing right in front of all of us. Huh? So I go, well,
are you kidding? He just pissed?
Yeah. He just
out
pissed. So he makes us all kind of look like shitheads.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's embarrassing me because...
It would be one thing if you were doing
Security guys are all laughing. Like Ralph ran out of the limo, ran by like the big entrance. It's a big publicity event.
By the way, there's a tent right there with bathrooms. He could have just said, "Where's the bathroom?" He would have been in 3 seconds.
But Howard, it gets better because you guys go in, right? So now my group comes in. It's me and Ross and John Hine. And we walk in, and the security guard goes, "Oh, your posse just walked in." I go, "Wait." They go, "Howard's over there." And I go, "Oh, cool." And they go, "Yeah." And there's some dude in the bushes, and you can see Ralph in the bushes peeing.
Yeah, in front of this event.
But so anybody could have walked by and seen Ralph pissing.
Yeah.
Everyone did, but the part was that it now becomes not Ralph's peeing in the bushes, but Howard Stern's guy is in the bushes.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That now you pee in the bushes.
Well, think about it this way, all right? We get out of we get out of Howard Stern's limo, and boom, out pops a guy peeing.
Right.
I mean, it's like
paparazzi like all over the place.
Right,
one of those Hamptons events, you know.
Oh, what a boob.
A boob. So like at this point, I'm like, Ralph, stay away from me. I don't want to be near you. And I said,
pretend you don't know me.
And I said, if you start smoking pot, I don't want to be anywhere near you. I don't want a picture of me with anyone smoking pot. I don't want, I don't want that drug thing.
Right.
I just don't. It's not an image that I condone.
The pissing is enough.
Yeah, the pissing image is bad enough because people tag me as being a slob and uncouth and being an asshole.
Howard Stern's gang rolls out of a car and starts peeing all over everybody.
My entourage. And everyone's disgusted. Artie's disgusted. I'm disgusted. And despite Artie's on-air demeanor, he's a pretty low-key guy. And like we go somewhere and he knows how to behave.
He knows how to behave himself.
Guy's a heroin addict. He knows how to behave himself.
Well, I can call an audible at the line at this point in my life.
But I was going to say, it's not that Artie behaves himself everywhere, but he knows where to behave himself.
Right, yeah,
Artie's like the most considerate guy. Like when Artie left my house, the bed was made. I didn't ask him to do this. The room was spotless. When Ralph leaves my house, I find a half-smoked cigar laying on the fucking bar.
Well, as you'll find out, he didn't plan on leaving exactly.
Wait. We'll tell you. Wait. So anyway,
it's so great.
Are you still with this story?
God. I love it.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah, because this is such a ramp up.
So now I'm livid because I hear everyone's talking about some guy got out of Howard's car and peed all over the place.
Right.
So like I'm just fucking out of my mind over this. Just sick. And then.
If I could jump in for that, I could tell you that Ralph swears that he didn't take anything of any kind. But early on, right after he walked in after peeing, he went to the bar. One of my friends said Ralph dropped 3 drinks in a row.
Okay.
He just kept dropping drinks.
He started drinking very heavily.
Is he now having a problem?
Well, you tell me after this story.
Who knows? I mean, what's going on? But at some point, when you're out with a group of people and you're all drinking, and your goal is to get at least lit. And at one point, one guy out of nowhere, like, how'd he get that drunk? That's what happened with Ralph. Like, out of nowhere, Ralph had gotten very drunk, and there were shots around. You could easily get drunk and just be drinking.
None of us realized. I mean, I certainly didn't that Ralph was like really drinking heavily, or what he was doing. Maybe he got some weed from. I don't know what he was doing. From what I could tell, he drank, and then when the concert started, he went up to the front and came back, and like I was talking to him, and he kept dropping his iPhone and everything, but like he was perfectly coherent as far as I was concerned.
Okay.
Did you guys agree? I mean, it wasn't like he knew he was shit-faced.
He was dancing obnoxiously and running in, hitting into people, but in a way, he was just being sort of Ralphish. He wasn't being like, you wouldn't think, my God, this guy needs help.
The first tip-off that Ralph was really, really drunk was at the end. The show's over, and we're standing there, and this couple is really a big fan of Artie, and the girl's pretty cute, and the guy's pretty average looking, and Ralph, it got to the point where Artie and I thought that the guy was going to punch Ralph in the mouth because the girl wanted to take a picture. They both wanted to take a picture, and he kept saying, "You're really hot. Lose that guy. Fuck off. You can't be in the picture." Like really obnoxious,
really inappropriate stuff.
This is the Ralph that got punched out at Scores, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says really weird things.
It was such a cool scene where at the very end of the concert, I had pushed up front as well, and it was me, Ralph, and Paul McCartney standing within feet of each other. And I remember pointing that out to Ralph. And Ralph's big thing was he wasn't into Paul. He wasn't impressed with Paul McCartney.
He's out of his mind.
That's what I don't know. He said something like, I'd be more impressed. And he wasn't. He didn't seem that impressed. He was like, I was like, wow, he's not bullshitting about that.
Let me say something to you first. Ralph goes to see Beatles impersonators.
Right.
He loves the Beatles.
Well, he's more impressed with that.
Well, it ties into the rest of it, though, why he wasn't so impressed with it.
But wait a second. So I leave about, there's like 3 songs left on the set list, and I was like, I want to beat the traffic, and I want to go home. And I said to Artie, and all the guys, I'm going home. They were like, okay, don't worry, we're with Ross and a whole bunch of guys.
Yeah, they had a way to get
They were going out for the night.
Yeah.
They were going to have boys' night out.
We were going to go, it turns into a club scene there at the end. So, they'd have a little bar area.
Oh, okay.
And they'd bring out a DJ to play dance music. And it would have been a nightmare for Howard to try to get out of there. So we knew, we had set it up earlier. Howard was like, he said, look, I'm probably going to leave. You guys hang.
And I said to Artie, if you want to come with me or Ralph, I said, or any of the guys, I said, I'll give you a ride. But, they said, no, we got it covered. Okay. So I split all the guys, Gary, Artie, Ralph, all of them are hanging out. Like Artie said, they have like a little thing. Mm-hmm. And then they decide to go to this place called Saracen. It's a restaurant, and it's got like a bar scene, and it's kind of fun, Mm-hmm. I go there once in a while, really like it. And so they get in the car, and they all go, Ralph included.
He's already drunk, but he's going anyway.
I guess, but again, I'm already out of the picture. But these guys, they said, yeah, maybe he was high or something, but no one really thought he was that
Look, at that point, I was feeling great, and Ralph was... See, but this one, the point Gary just brought up was the key change. Like
that personality.
When we met that couple, he was being so inappropriate, and that was after the Tom Petty concert and before we went to Saracens.
Okay.
So, and it was a great group of guys. We was like a guys in out. We were all having fun. It was Richie Notar, it was Ross, it was me, it was Gary, and John Hine.
Yes.
John Hine, and we were all hanging out. But Ralph, at that point, we said, look, Ralph might start a fight. We got to take care of him a little bit.
We started to have the discussion. This was a really weird thing amongst ourselves. And John Hine says, if somebody punches Ralph, will you jump in? And I go, I don't know. It depends on what he did. I said, I guess I have to.
John Hine, full of truth serum. Ralph wouldn't want him around. I don't think.
Oh, really?
Those guys have some issues. I don't know. They have to work out.
So John was questioning whether he would get involved if Ralph got into a fight.
Yeah, he was like, God, if someone was beating the shit out of him, I don't know if I'd help out.
But we had to have that discussion.
By the way, I hear Sal's pissed off. He thinks I invited John Hine.
Yes.
What is that all about?
He found out that John Hine went to the concert. You invited him.
I did?
He's furious that John Hine somehow jumped the chain, that Ralph's been here much longer. And why didn't you invite Sal instead of John?
Well, Sal, who gives you your information? I don't know how John Hine ended up there. In fact,
but
I invited John Hine.
Case,
I invited John Hine over to my house for some food. But
don't tell Sal.
I did, but
But the point is, Howard, it doesn't matter how he got there. If you did, it's none of his business.
Thank you.
Where do you get this information? Where do you conjure up this bullshit of yours?
Somebody told me. I just heard that John Hine went with you guys. I'm happy for John Hine.
I saw him at the concert.
I have no beef.
Wait a second, hold on. John Hine was there, and nobody told you Howard brought him. You just assumed it, right?
Well, this is your gig, Howard. I mean, you're the leader of the pack.
Dude. Artie came over. That's it.
I don't care about Artie.
And the pack. I don't know how John Hine ended up there. I don't know what John Hine did for the weekend. I saw him at the concert. I had nothing to do with it.
I find that hard to believe.
You're an asshole.
So
I'm
you're
just.
not even gonna
I don't
believe him now
care.
that he said that.
I was just a little hurt. I felt that
You're
you know.
hurt. You could have done what John Hine did. Ask John Hine how he ended up there.
I'm not the one who sold the website for a couple of mil. I don't have the money to pay $3,000 to see Tom Petty. So
Again,
You're assuming.
you're making a wacky assumption.
all right, very good. Whatever angle I take, I'll be wrong on this. So I'm happy for you. I'm happy for John Hine. I'm just saying I was a little insulted. Okay? Is that
How
wrong?
could you be insulted if I didn't
are you
invite?
insulted?
In other words, let's say I go to a Van Halen concert and John Hine is there. Are you insulted?
No, and I'm happy. The issue's not John Hine. It's just that I felt that. I hate to say
But
this.
Sal, you jumped to conclusions.
Hate
I had
to say
nothing to
what?
do with John Hine. John, how did you end up at that concert?
Gary invited me.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Now
All right.
get upset with Gary because John jumped you in Gary's life.
I'm done with Gary. Me and Gary are over.
You know, Gary and John are close.
Yeah,
I mean, you
and
know.
I just assumed I just assumed that you invited John Hine.
No, I had nothing to do with John. Although I did invite him over to my house when I heard he was out there.
Yes,
but
you did.
How come you never made
Which
it?
was very nice.
Yeah. How come? What happened to you?
I was stuck at another thing that I couldn't get out. I was in Long Island City and I couldn't get out to you in time.
Wish Sal would kill himself rather than be stuck at anything.
Well, let me just say this for Sal. See, John Hine knew you'd be upset, and that's why he didn't make it.
Right.
Right. Smart move. All right,
Well,
Sal,
I'm
thank
happy
you.
for you and your-
You got to hear the rest of this story. So
Yeah, I'm listening inside. It's
All right,
brilliant.
Yeah.
All right, so we know now that Ralph is a little tipsy, but we're all a little tipsy, but who knows how tipsy he is.
Right.
We go to this Saracen's place.
Yeah.
All right. And now we get in there, and you know Ross is Mr. Plan guy. He immediately is able to assess the situation, and we go. Ross goes, look, this
Ross
place
is our friend.
Ross Sapin, who we've
Ross
talked
Saban,
about.
who works here.
Yeah. And we get in there, and it was crowded, kind of a scene and stuff, and a nice place. But Ross was like, maybe a couple drinks, and we'll go somewhere else, you know. And we're like, fine, I don't care, whatever. And Ralph, we get a place to sit. Ralph starts dancing.
Dirty dancing.
Like,
With who?
That's the key.
Like a woman who looked to be about 60.
Yeah.
In really tight, like with bad plastic surgery and tight, real like jeans. All
John,
like a
did she look
pants.
real old?
Yes.
Yeah.
Artie's being complimentary at this point.
Mr. Evaluator.
She was heavy, and that's being, kind.
Kind.
And this is from a guy, when you see a model walk in,
And
he
he
goes, her
goes-
ears are small and her middle toe's too long.
Yeah.
He's out dancing with a chubby 60-year-old woman and appearing
Dirty
to love
dancing.
it. Yeah, no, he's
Dude,
totally
like that really
So,
annoying Latin music
Artie-
you hear at a feast, you know.
Artie was like, hey, there's a bunch of old broads here. I'm going home.
Oh, my
So Artie decides he's going to bail on the night. It's probably about 1 o'clock in the morning at this point, or 12:30.
We
who
all
knows?
decide we're going to bail on this place. We're all now the group is deciding to leave.
Okay.
Okay, you know.
So a couple of people, Gary included, go up to Ralph and say, hey, we're all leaving now. And they
While
say...
he's dirty dancing?
While he's dirty dancing. And Ralph says, looks at them coherently and says, look, man, don't worry. I'll catch up with you guys, or I'll just make it back to Howard's house, whatever.
Well,
don't worry.
It was actually worse than that. At first he said, I'll be fine. But then he said, you guys go and come and pick me up on your way back.
Right, that's what he wanted.
like where's fucking taxi drivers?
Yeah, and Gary goes, there is no way back, Ralph. We're going. That's it. Either you leave now.
Or you find your own way.
Right, so he's like, fine.
So again, you get out in front of the club, and guys, some guy, like when you're with a group of guys, some guys are like, fuck them, especially if you don't know them. But Artie and John Hine get out front, and they go, wait a minute, we can't just leave Ralph here. We have to, we have to be
Why
sure.
not?
So
That's what Ross was saying.
Artie was like, you know what, the guy might be fucked up. I'm going to go in, and I am going to make sure that Ralph understands.
Well, no, first Gary had a turn, then John Hine went in. He goes, Art, you're feeling guilty? I'm going to go in and ask him. So John Hine, and John is a pretty
So
efficient
you
guy.
see, the evening is all about Ralph
Right,
and
so
getting him from place to place.
Always.
But wait a second, wait. So Artie says, I don't care what these two guys said. I don't want to feel guilty. I don't want to leave a
You
guy.
got to go make sure for
Yeah,
yourself.
because at this point he said, hey, maybe he's drunk and doesn't know what he's doing.
This is the third time going back there.
right.
So Artie goes in and he says, look, Ralph, we are leaving. How are you going to get home? Don't worry, I'll get home, blah, 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 blah.
Dancing
He
with
goes-
a chick, arm around a chick.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
all
yeah.
right,
The 60-year-old broad.
Yeah.
He's
So-
still with her.
Yeah, so Artie says to him, do you know where Howard lives? He goes, take the address down. Write it down in your iPhone or whatever the fuck that thing is. Right. So Artie's telling him, yelling out the address, giving him the address. Ralph goes, I don't know, work my iPhone. Don't worry, I know it. And he repeats the address. Okay.
I realize, people sort of recognize this. I'm yelling out Howard's address in the middle of a dance floor at a crowded club.
All right, because Artie felt like whatever.
He needed to take care of Ralph.
Right. So he goes, Ralph, do you even have? If you have to get a cab or whatever, he goes,
do you have money?
Do you have money? Artie hands Ralph $300 cash and says, "Here, take this money. I want to make sure you can get home." Now, somehow
Artie,
Ralph,
I don't have a way home.
Somehow Ralph, exactly. Somehow Ralph evokes this in people. I know
that he's got the world taking care of him.
Most people should be like Scott the engineer. You forget that he's even there. It should be that way, but it's not. Okay. So these guys leave. Artie decides to come back to my place. He comes home.
Now, at this point, there's zero guilt in he's in no danger. Right. He's got money. He's an adult man. He seems to be having fun. He made a decision. I'm staying here. And we left. That's what happened.
All right.
I'm already asleep.
You don't even know this has gone on.
No. I've been in bed for hours already. I mean, I'm not putting up with this nonsense. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Yeah. I went home with my fiance and had a perfectly reasonable evening with her. So, I got to tell you, it just sounds exhausting, right?
Oh my God!
I wouldn't have even gone back in and asked Ralph.
So the split was, which is what Ross wanted to say. You were with Ross. So the split was Ross and Gary and the other guys go somewhere else, and John Hein took me back to Howard.
All right.
Okay, so that's the split.
So then, I wake up the next morning, and I don't know. I listen to my messages. Yeah. There's 5 messages from Ralph. Oh. I go downstairs. I see his room hasn't been used. Oh. No Ralph. He never made it back. I go, oh, wow. Just before I listen to my messages, I go, Ralph must have hooked up with a broad or something. I didn't know about any old broad.
You didn't know about the 60-year-old.
No, I just said he must have hooked up with a broad. I know Ralph. Or he's staying at Ross's house or something went down.
Right, he went home with somebody else.
So I start listening to one panicked message after the other. It's like the first one comes in at about 4:30 in the morning. He goes, dude, where do you live? I'm driving around with this guy, and we're stopping in parking lots asking if anyone knows where you live.
Oh, no!
And he goes, I don't know where I am. You gotta help me. So then he goes, then I listen to the next message. In fact, I have the messages. Why didn't I fucking prepare those? Play them. I should. You know what? Take a commercial break. I'll go get that lined up with Scott.
All right. Yeah. Because we got to hear the messages. I can't wait to hear these.
All right. Take a break. Take a break. Wait, you got to hear these messages.
That's too funny.
Hello.
Hi.
2 seconds.
Is that the phone?
This is the phone right here.
I got to do a whole punching in.
I know. Okay, this is the phone.
Thank you. I dial 1.
You dial 9 first. You done? I think so. Right. Okay.
Next message. Let me just make sure.
Hmm?
Next message. What's it say?
Hey now, douchebag. I tried to call you before, but I got disconnected, and then I got another call.
Yeah, you do.
Just no 3?
That's it.
Okay, I got it.
I think I don't have to bleep out words.
I know.
It's such a pleasure.
Won't believe
He sounds like he's 18 years old.
Yeah, right? Oh, it's one big nightmare. So where were we in this story?
So you're about to so
Ralph's calling. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ralph's
so
calling
I wake up in the
you,
morning. I see Ralph's bedroom is empty. Artie, I realize Artie locks his door at night. I noticed you lock. Do you have a thing? Because what I did was I tried to open the door to see if you were in there because I figured both you guys were gone, and then the door was locked.
I don't remember doing it. Maybe I did it out of habit. Yeah.
You lock yourself in at home?
Yeah, you lock yourself in.
Not in the bedroom, but I might have. I was a little drunk myself. I might have locked the door. I guess
like
I locked
it was a front door.
Well, good thing you did because I would have been in your room.
Right, exactly.
Oh, you're smart.
Who needs you in there?
Right.
Hey, always lock your door at Howard's house.
So now I'm like all confused, and I go, and as I regularly do, go to check my messages. Scott, do you have those, or is it a whole big process?
I think it'll be like 2 more seconds, Howard.
All right, great. Just tell me the page to go to.
So, but what happened was, Howard left us at the concert. Everybody's hanging, having fun. I left Ralph with that money. Those guys left the bar, too. Ralph was dancing, having a good time. I made it home about 2 a.m. John Hein drove me home. By the way, me and John Hein got pulled over by a cop.
What?
Yeah, John Hine of all people.
So John doesn't even drink, right?
Well, no. He didn't get pulled over because of that. He got pulled over. We were doing 40 and a 25 down the Hamptons main drag, and he was doing me a favor, taking me to Howard's, and I felt awful. This really cute chick.
A cop.
I mean, but cute. Like, like you'd go, wow, there's a hot chick. Pulled us over, and I felt so bad. I said, I'm going to be obnoxious right now. And I said, Miss, my name's Artie Lang. I'm from the Howard Stern Show. And
Let me guess what you said. You said you had a 40-inch cock.
I was going to say, you would do sexual favors to get out of the ticket.
And she said, you know what? Don't worry about it. She goes, I love Howard. I'm just giving you a warning. And she was going to get a fucking moving violation for that.
Artie used my name to get out of a ticket. I use my name, and I don't get out of a ticket.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I've done that, and cops have given me tickets.
What?
Well, like I'll go, hey, Howard Stern, the guy in the rating guy, goes, oh, yeah, I know who you are. And
he keeps writing.
And he writes a ticket.
See, the move is just to let them see who you are, I think. But
yeah, I never say. And, sometimes they recognize me, and then they're nice.
I say right away.
Right, you say right away?
Yeah, I have the PBA card, and they go, oh, where'd you get this from? And I said, well, I do a lot of charity work for the police. Senator John told me that one.
Never pull out
I said, they go, where'd you get that? I do a lot of charity work for the police. Oh, how do you do that? I go, well, I work on the Howard Stern Show. We do a lot of stuff.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's good. I'm going to do that. I'm going to say I'm from the Letterman Show. See if that gets me anywhere.
But I felt so bad for John. I said, I'm going to be like a little bit of a douchebag and say it out loud. And then she couldn't have been cooler. And I'm telling you, she was hot. So
we're lucky because John's the only one of us that doesn't drink.
Yeah, he was completely sober.
Let's go to Bill, who wants to say hello. Bill, go ahead.
Hey, welcome back, Howard.
Thanks, man.
Listen, this Ralph story, the only way it's going to be any way interesting to anybody but you or maybe Robin is if Ralph dies or gets arrested or...
Well, you got to hold on.
You got to hold on.
Well, sir, that would be great.
He gets his face punched in.
Are you not enjoying this story? Because I did a random...
No, I'm really listening, Howard. I just
they just hate Ralph. And,
we love to hate Ralph.
Okay, because I did a random check. I said, is this interesting to everyone, or is it just to me and Artie and the guys who were there? And everyone said, no, we're all guessing the ending.
We're leaping ahead and seeing what this will mean for Ralph in the future.
The messages will make it better. They're on Gary preview page 1 in green.
Okay, thank you. So I get up and I get this message. Give me a sec. Okay. Here we go. This is the first message.
Hey, man, I know you're sleeping, but...
So what's he supposed to do?
I have no place to go. We're going back to the city, I think. Fuck, man. These people... this chick's throwing up on the side of the road. Oh, my God, this is so fucked. All right, well, can you pack up my shit? Okay, thank you. Bye.
So now it's about 4:30 in the morning, and he's going back home. Right. And I'm like, what the fuck happened?
So that's
here?
The first message you get. You have to be completely puzzled.
No, I'm puzzled.
Yeah, right.
So
how did he get so out of it?
Then the next one is time stamped, I think, around 7 in the morning or 7:30.
Hey, now. Hey, so I'm in Jersey City. What a fucking nightmare, man. Fucking guys ditched me. I didn't know where to go. I couldn't find your house. Went up and down the street. Couldn't find the street. And so I had to get on the bus. And, oh, my God, what a fucking nightmare. Fucking douchebags.
They're douchebags.
Cocksuckers. Fuck. All right, man, I'm going to sleep, so I'll talk to you during the day. Just throw my shit in a bag and give it to Artie. I got a shirt in the closet and some stuff in the bathroom and whatever underneath the TV to the right over there. Just throw my shit in a bag and I'm going to sleep. All right, man. Thanks, man. Bye.
If they're all drinking, he knew exactly where everything was. Did you hear that description?
Yeah, he sounds very lucid.
He sounds very alert and all this other shit. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, what did they do to him?
And then the third, and I'm like, well, what did these guys do? And I'm dying to wake Artie up, but I go, Artie slept at like 1 o'clock in the
afternoon. Artie locked his door so you couldn't.
Yeah.
I was in weekend mode. I put the air conditioning on.
Did you sleep until noon or something?
Well, on a night out, I got home. I didn't get to sleep till about 2:30, and I put the air conditioning on about 58.
And he's calling these guys like cocksuckers and fucks, and I'm like, man, they really screwed him over. I don't know what's going on.
What did they do to Ralphie?
And then I'm like,
Hey, douchebag, could you put some cookies in my bag, too,
Can
please?
you
Some
believe
of
this guy?
Marnie's cookies, like 3 or 4. That would be very good. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, dude. I can't believe I'm home. Fucking cocksuckers, man. Fucking assholes. Fucking... Oh, fuck. Dude, I had to... I'll tell you, I had to fucking scale the side of my building to get my house. What a fucking pig. Fuck. All right, bye. Just give me some cookies, though. All right, bye.
So we get it. So Artie wakes up. All the guys come over to my place because we're going to have a meeting about what went down.
So I finally wake up.
There's a big summit.
I wake up at
Ross was
noon
over,
and
Gary,
I make it into the kitchen. I could barely move. Like my 1 p.m. I wake up and I see Howard and Beth, and they go, "Did you hear what happened to Ralph?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck, what happened?"
Right.
And then I hear.
So we tell him all this, and he goes, I fucking gave the guy $300. I went in 20 times and said to him, Ralph, I'm going home now. Do you know how to go? He goes, this is my worst nightmare. He goes, I never want to ditch a guy. I never would do that. Right. He goes, I'm fucking mad. I'm outraged.
There was no indication. I was really pissed because, look, the only way we'd be in the fault is if we sort of knew that Ralph was in a blackout or something.
Right.
But of course we didn't know that.
Wait a minute. You know what?
There was no indication of that.
What John Hine told me was that when he went in to say, Ralph, we're leaving, we're really leaving, this is, how are you going to get home? Ralph said, just tell Ross to come back at such a time and pick me up.
Right. Yeah, he kept saying that.
And the other thing you should know, you know how Ralph has that iPhone that he's madly in love with, that he plays with like a baby?
Yeah.
So we wondered, he's got my cell phone number, he's got Ross's cell phone number, and he's got Howard's address in there. He's got this thing that he's in love with. Fucking thing runs out of batteries.
Oh, you're kidding. That's why
that's another great part of the story.
Yeah. So we all decide to get him on a speakerphone and find out what's going on. And we tell him, hey, you're being an asshole. Artie went in and he goes, what? He claims he
doesn't remember.
I said, so what are you on? What kind of drugs are you doing? Because that ain't from drinking.
What's wrong with you?
He says, I swear I didn't I smoked a little weed at the concert, I drank, and that was it.
I said, what's the last thing you remember? I said, do you remember sitting next to Paul McCartney? And it was me, you, and Paul McCartney in the third row, I said. Uh-huh. And we were, having a great time listening to Don't Come Around Here No More, the last song. And he goes, Art, I don't remember standing next to you and Paul McCartney. I totally would remember that, which explained to me why he wasn't that into him. But there was no indication of that night. He seemed to be all right.
So I said to Ralph, why didn't you go to a hotel? Oh, there were no hotels. I go, there's tons of fucking hotels. Why wouldn't you go to a diner and just wait till, I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing? He goes, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Somehow he latched on to some guy.
Yeah.
This is the mystery thing.
That he was driving around with.
And because his iPhone, the single biggest advancement in the history of technology, that he can't call anybody, he borrows the guy's cell phone to call Howard. So now the guy has Howard's
in his phone.
Yeah, so clearly the guy knew Ralph was. Of course, he knows Ralph and Howard.
That's why he's doing all.
And they're going up and down. And Ralph got out of the guy's car at one point and started yelling, "Does anyone know where Howard Stern lived?" And he said, "Fuck it."
Know that?
Because Ralph told us he did it. He goes, at some point, I was desperate, dude. I'm sorry, but I was desperate.
Whatever he was on, he must have come off. But
he got next to a very big celebrity's house who lives next to Howard. That was like a landmark. There's another sort of very big celebrity there, and as there are all over the place. And so he knew that was close by, and we were like, well, then you couldn't get it it's only like a little ways further. He's like, no, I couldn't do it. I was yelling at Howard's name. I called him from this guy's cell phone. We go, who was the guy? How did you leave the guy? He's like, I have no idea what happened. Somehow I got on the jitney, the bus, back to the fucking city.
We don't believe any of that. We were like, what jitney did you get at 4:30 in the morning?
But he's back in Jersey City. He did
get back
to be on a jitney, right?
But he found a guy that was willing to take him from the club to around the neighborhood of your house, drive him up and down the road, and then take him back to a place where the guy knew there was a bus Ralph could get.
Yeah, instantaneously, he's supposedly stumbling blackout drunk. He finds a guy and he also tried to get into a hotel. He goes, the hotel had no vacancy. So he finds that information out. He he makes it somewhat back to Howard's house, makes phone calls, figures out his cell phone's dead, gets to the fucking bus stop. I couldn't do that coherent.
But he's a train wreck.
Yeah. I mean, it's like... So, and then I said, Ralph, do you remember? He goes, by the way, did someone give me money? I have a stack of hundreds. And I said, Ralph, I gave you $300. I said, you don't remember that? I put it right in front of your face. I go, dude, this is money for you to get home. He goes, yeah. He goes, actually, thanks for doing that. I didn't have a lot of money on me.
Yeah, but meanwhile, here's the kicker to that part of the story.
So he knew that I gave him the money, and I said, yeah, Ralph, that was me. And he goes, oh, thanks. That was nice of you. So.
Well, no. He said he didn't remember you gave him $300.
Right.
He said, I said to him, do you remember Artie giving you $300? He goes, oh, is that how I had a pocket full of money?
Right. Then we found that out on the phone. He said, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
But didn't he say on the phone that he was going to give you the money back?
No, he never said that.
He never said that. So
listen to this.
When's that going to happen?
So now I'm packing Ralph's room up, which, by the way, is like spread out all over the house. I mean, like he
So it wasn't just in his room. You had to go all over.
It was It was just in his room, but he luxuriates and gets everything out and unpacked, and his books over here, and his this and his that. It's like he was there for 1 hour. You know what I mean? He was just there for an overnight visit.
And he really did leave a lit cigar on like a teak bar.
No. It actually wasn't lit. It was out. But it was out.
So Howard and Beth picked up for him, packed for him, got a shirt out of a closet, figures out where his other shit is, and put these great homemade cookies they had, packed them up and put them in the bag.
You actually responded to the cookie request.
Yeah, he actually gave him cookies.
So we pack up his bag, and I go, now Artie's got to schlep Ralph's bag.
Real neatly. A packed up fucking bag waiting for me to take it back to Ralph.
So
after all this,
Artie decides that he'll make it easy for Ralph, because Artie got a car to take him from the helipad to his house.
What happened is, so now I have Ralph's bag, okay? And it's like one of those sort of, lazy Sundays where, you're hungover. What do I want to do? Me and Gary get the helicopter back. So, and again, the guy, there was an issue for the guy because I thought you were 3. He goes, no, we're only 2. And you could tell the guy had to change something. He goes, oh, whatever. I wish you would have told me that. So, Ralph inadvertently fucks up that guy's day in some way. So we're on the helicopter, which is the greatest ride ever. And in the middle of the helicopter ride back to Manhattan, I go to Gary, I go, listen, after all this bullshit, I can make Ralph's life so easy right now. I had my guy who always drives me, my driver Herb, picking me up at the helipad in Manhattan. And I said, he actually doesn't live that far from Ralph.
Right.
I could just tell the guy I'll give the guy Ralph's number, and I'll give Ralph his number on his answer machine, and I'll say, guys, hook up at some point during the day. My driver will hand deliver you the bag, Ralph. And of course, though, he charges me for a ride for that.
Of course.
Okay. So Gary had some great advice. He goes, okay, number 1, you shouldn't do it because fuck him. But number 2, if you do it, it's out of your hair completely because he's got it. Now Ralph has a deadline. Ralph is skipping to it because he's got to get to California. He needed shit in that bag for California. So I agreed with the second part. I said, fuck it. I don't want this in my head. I call Ralph from the helicopter. I leave him a message saying, look, get in touch with this guy. He's going to have your bag in a Lincoln. Your bag will be driven in a Lincoln Town car to your house. I tell my driver when we land, I go, look, take this to this guy's house. He's like, fine. And he didn't plan on doing anything else on a Sunday. It was a special Sunday ride.
Right.
And I must get charged about $40, $50 for whatever that is. And I don't want the guy to do it for me for nothing. So Ralph calls me back when I land. He goes, dude, thanks so much. That was really, really great. The guy fucking took it right to me, and I really need all that shit because I'm going to California tomorrow. And he goes, by the way, I gave the guy a few dollars. And I go, oh, that's nice. That's nice. You gave the guy a few dollars. He goes, yeah, so thanks, man. And I said, well, have a good time in California, I guess. And he goes, great, I will. Thank you for everything. Because by now he realized he was wrong. He goes, look, I'm not really mad about last night. I'm sorry you had to, give me the $300. He even re-brought it up again, $300.
Right.
Now, knowing he's going to California, he says he gave my driver a few dollars as a tip.
Right.
So then we just hang up, and he's going to California. I say, good luck, have a good time. I call my driver. I go, did he give you anything for me? And he goes, no. He didn't give me a package for you at all. He didn't give me any money to give back to me. He's like, nope. And I go, what did he tip you? And he goes, not much. He goes, like under $10, so just a few dollars. And, I don't know the exact number, but Ralph might dispute that. I got to check from my guy. But the point is, now, am I right in assuming this is Ralph's mindset? Because this is what pisses me off. He's going to California. He doesn't have a lot of money on him. He figures, unless Artie brings it up, I'm not giving him back the $300. I got $300 cash on me. I'm taking this to L.A.
Absolutely.
And fuck it.
Yeah.
You gave it to him, Artie. Why would you want it back?
You gave him the money.
Artie's
right.
fuming mad because, and rightly so.
Oh, absolutely.
That, dude, where's my $300 back?
Right.
I gave it to you.
He did that out of the goodness of his heart because he cared about Ralph, and Ralph is taking it.
I wouldn't even say, even if he said to me, look, I needed it. I used, what's the jitney, $50?
Say it's $100.
Right. So he would have said, look, I'm low on cash. Here's the balance of the $300. But, and again, I'll give Ralph a chance to explain himself, but I started to overthink it, and I really got fucking mad. I said his mindset was totally that Artie's not bringing this up, so I'm not going to bring it up. Right. I'm going to L.A. I got an extra $300. Fuck it. I'm keeping it. After his bag got hand-delivered, Ralph cost me $350.
Yeah.
On top of whatever, the helicopter would have been. And not until he didn't thank me for the helicopter, by the way, until he made this really cheap fat joke at lunch. We were all having lunch, and he makes this like dumb fat joke that I was sort of
pissed.
I was aggravated by it, and I don't care about fat jokes, obviously, but something about it rubbed me the wrong way. And Ralph could see I was pissed, and then he went, "Oh, by the way, Art, thanks for the helicopter. That was really nice." Yeah, and so again, it's like I don't know. I just it's that sense of entitlement with money. And it's not about the money, of course, but just he's going to claim I forgot, Art. I forgot, or
of course I was going to pay you back.
Is there any way I let him on in thinking you don't have to pay me that money back? I don't think I said that.
No. And in fact, I want to ask you guys a question because Ralph got mad at me on a wrap-up show a couple of weeks ago. He said that I'm the one who started this rumor, a fact about him that's wrong, that he has a sense of entitlement. But doesn't everything in that story show he feels he has a right to be on the helicopter, a right to have his bag delivered with cookies, by the way?
But Ralph knows that he has a sense of entitlement.
But how do you not know?
He wouldn't even recognize it because he's so entitled.
How does he not remember the whole night?
Because he's blacking out.
But Howard, a couple of hours later, when you're like that, a couple hours later, he describes to the longitude and latitude where all the shit is in his room.
Yeah.
I got stuff a little bit to the right there. There's a shirt in the closet. In a black guy, I would remember had a shirt in a fucking closet.
But he wasn't drinking then. This is, you got him before and after blackout.
Speaking of blackouts, though, is Isaac here or is he on his honeymoon?
I don't know.
Isaac got married on Sunday.
Well,
Isaac's one of our guys who works on Howard TV.
Great guy.
Honeymoon, Howard.
What did you say?
He's on his honeymoon.
Oh, too bad. Because
what?
After all that telling about how Ralph's inappropriate, I'm going to be the... Here's a story about me being the most inappropriate.
Artie accepted the invitation. I had RSVP'd that I wasn't coming.
Right.
Although I did send Isaac a gift, which he'll probably get when he gets back. But anyway, Artie was going to the wedding.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Again, Isaac invited me to the wedding. Me and Isaac are friends. I think he's great. I know his wife, his now wife.
Susie.
They were getting married Sunday, and I went out Friday night, and I slept a day and a half.
Get out of here.
Hungover. And
you slept a day and a half?
I woke up Saturday afternoon. And again, this is what happens. If I don't have like a woman in my life to take care of me like a little baby, I forget stuff like this. So I totally forgot about the wedding. And I guess I have other friends who were going. All it would have taken is one guy to go, Art, how you getting to the wedding? You want to go together? Like, there was not one call like that. I know Richard went. You know what I mean? It was like, and I'm sitting there like in a daze, hungover, reading the sports section. I didn't remember till last night at 10 o'clock. I gander over at my fucking refrigerator and I see the invitation, and I had a feeling of such horror.
Wait a minute. You didn't go to the refrigerator all weekend?
I did, but it's like, this is what happens. I put it
when
up.
You hang stuff on a refrigerator, you don't...
I put it up a month ago. It became part of the refrigerator. Right. And I totally, I look at it and I go, I didn't go to fucking Isaac's wedding. And I didn't even call. So now,
it was too of crap.
I heard a rumor too, Robin, that you bailed on Isaac's wedding a week before the event.
He knew that was a possibility.
Oh, okay.
It was too late. It was too late to call him. It was 10 o'clock last night. So I said, listen, I'm sure people at the show know about this. I'm going to have to deal with it. I sat down and I literally wrote a 3-page apology.
You should read that on the air.
You want me to?
You should make it public.
Well, let me
Is
give
it boring or is it good?
It's me thinking of every self-deprecating, awful thing about myself to say.
Don't read it then.
Before he said, no, you know what? If he wants to, I'll give it to him. If he wants to read it, he can read it. But I also, and of course, to put a period at the end of the inappropriate
You
sentence,
have to give a huge gift.
I gave more money because I feel so guilty.
What'd you give him?
I'm not going to say that. If he could read the note and say how much if he wants, but I got it sealed here, marked to him. And guys, I'll say this to when I see you. I'm so sorry, guys. I felt horrible.
Because when I did bail, Isaac said, "Well, Artie's going to be there by himself."
Oh God.
Well, no, he's not actually.
By the way, I know I told that assistant of mine to remind me about this, but anyway, I'm not going to.
You know, it's time.
I'm not going to blame
him. It's time
him.
you went to franklincovey.com, got yourself an appointment book, and started taking responsibility for this shit.
You're right.
This is what Howard's been preaching all along.
I'm telling you, it enables you to become a man.
I don't forget about gigs where I'm getting paid. That's for sure.
That's true.
But
That's true. You never sleep through those.
Isaac's a good guy, and I feel terrible about it. And I'll give him this Magna Carta I wrote. Yeah.
Hey, anyway, so
I feel like a little baby. You know what I mean? Like I'm 39. I forgot to go to a friend's wedding.
When are you going to turn 40? It seems like you've been 39 for about 5 years.
I'm Jack Benny.
You know what's weird?
October 11th.
The weird part of Isaac's wedding, and this is why we got to get him in here when he comes back from his honeymoon. Where'd he go?
I don't even know. I don't know.
If you'd been at the wedding, you might have found out.
Yeah, you might have known.
I feel terrible.
So anyway, he had the most random invite list. You know how we always have trepidation about throwing a party because you have to cut certain people off?
Yeah.
But it was like I got invited, you got invited. Now, some people were pissed Artie got invited over them because they were like, well, I know Isaac longer. Like Gary didn't get invited.
Gary didn't get an invite?
And he even said to me, look, I'm not complaining. I don't want to go to a fucking wedding. But
not on no Labor Day weekend.
No. Oh, people who get married on Labor Day weekend, you want to take them and smash their head into a fucking wall. You want to smash their head into a wall.
Well, that's a whole other rap, but, you know, look, I went to his bachelor party. I did a shot with his best man. I was like, I can't wait for the wedding. It's my bad. Sometimes you drop the ball. I drop the ball. But, you know, Teddy, fuck him. It's his fault.
So Isaac's on the phone. I got to ask him.
Isaac's on the phone from his honeymoon?
Hey, Isaac.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, congratulations, by the way, to you and
Thanks
Susan.
very much.
Yeah.
Thanks for the notice. Howard sent me a really nice note. It was very heartfelt.
Yes, and I will actually have I have a gift for you, but
I have a gift for you, too.
There you go. Anyway. Your guest list was kind of random. It was like weird, like Artie, me, Robin. Was Fred invited? Were you invited?
I wasn't invited. No, you know.
No.
There's a lot of things. You know how hard it is to put together a party that has a limited number of seats. It's not easy.
But like, why Richard and like Ronnie the limo driver over Gary?
Okay, I'll tell you why. Because I went out to Richard's house to shoot Weekend at the Christie's, and I bonded with Richard, and I've been friends with Richard since the day he arrived at K-Rock. I was close to Richard. Why Ronnie? Because I used to do the hallway camera, and I had, spent a lot of time with Ronnie. And even though Ronnie breaks my balls constantly, probably more than anybody at the show, Ronnie's always doing it with a smile. So the way I gauged it was I couldn't invite everyone from the show. There were people that I wanted to invite that I couldn't invite because of numbers and because of, you have to let your parents and you have to let your bride invite people. And I kind of thought of it as, when I look out into that crowd, who are the faces that I really, really want to see?
And you don't want to see Gary's face.
No.
You didn't want to see Gary or Fred.
I like Gary, but I don't have that closeness with Gary that I have with some other people on the show.
Yeah, I don't blame you about Fred, too. I mean, I understand that.
Well, I was upset.
When I get married, I don't want to look out and see Fred.
You don't want to look out and see Fred?
No.
Consider me a no.
I love Fred. I just don't know. I just don't have like a closeness. I had to.
No one has a closeness to Fred.
I got one for him, Howard. Wow. Hey, Isaac.
Pound.
Congratulations on. Believe me, I'm not that pissed. But there's a guy out there that seems a little upset that I thought that Isaac was really good friends with.
Who?
Will. Isaac and Will are pretty friendly. So how do you pick Richard, say, over Will?
Like I said, I actually had a B list, and I told Will that he was on my B list.
He's B list.
Well, just so you don't feel bad, you're on the B list.
Well, at least he was on a list.
That's right.
No, he was on a B list, and our list got really big because I apparently have a lot of cousins that I don't know about.
Why would Artie be on your list, though? Are you close to Artie?
I thought I was.
Yeah, no, me and Isaac are very friendly. And dude, again, I don't know if you heard before, but I have no excuse. Without a broad in my life to take care of me like a little fucking fat baby, I went out Friday night. I slept all day Saturday and Sunday. Last night at 10 o'clock, I looked at my refrigerator at your invitation, man, and I became horrified. And I realized no one called me. No one even said.
Well, my invitation was on your refrigerator, and you didn't see it for 2 days. I don't believe that.
Well, that's what I said. He had to go to the refrigerator.
No, it became sort of part of the scenery.
Yeah, it became like part of the refrigerator, and I because it was up there for so long. But I mean, I have no excuse. I literally.
That's bad.
No one called.
What do you have an assistant for?
Well, listen, I guarantee I told that Teddy little motherfucker to remind me about it because
You're gonna fire his ass, or you?
I just would have liked. I would have loved to have seen. You would have had a great time.
Isaac,
you know what's sad? A B-lister could have taken his place.
That's right.
Like Will.
That's of course, and
Will's a B-lister.
Isaac, I am so sorry, man. I wrote you a 3-page apology. And I have a check for you, and I don't know what to say, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Susan. I know how
Susan's a piece of ass.
She's hot.
I was just looking at a picture of her.
Too.
She got nice titties.
Oh, stop it.
Thank you very
That's
much.
his wife now. You're
Big
talking
deal.
about.
You did well.
I'm
happy when a guy tells me my wife would have nice titties.
Isaac's wife is a very talented line producer. As a matter of fact, we interviewed her she worked on the Chappelle
Look at her
show.
titties in that picture.
Yeah. And we interviewed Isaac's wife to line produce Beer League.
Isaac, is that her wedding dress that I'm seeing with the pink sash around it? Or is that like an
that's her wedding dress.
Boy, with the titties like that, huh?
Pretty revealing.
Yeah, she got into really good shape for the wedding. She's always been great. I mean, she's amazing. I definitely scored out of my league.
She wear a bikini or a one piece?
She wears a bikini. She doesn't really go to she doesn't really like the sun though, so she stays out of the sun.
So she's got a flat, hard stomach?
She's in amazing shape right now. She does have a flat stomach.
She's got a great body.
And those are real titties?
Good breast to stomach ratio.
And that's real boobies?
Those are real boobs.
Nice. She got a nice
but,
face too.
She was really. I mean, I think one of the first things that she said to me, she looked out and she goes, "Artie's not here."
Oh God,
I'm like, yeah.
Hey, Doug.
Well, let's give him a little time. Maybe he's late, but.
I assume you were at the wedding, right?
Yeah, I was at the wedding. I had a great time.
Picture.
I'm just saying for the audience. Yes.
We set a chair for Artie. In his seat, we put a Jack in water and put his name there.
I mean, you know why I have no excuse? Because even, of course, the baby that I am, I was late in RSVPing about whether or not I was going to bring a guest, so it went out of the way like Isaac had to extend it a few days. Artie, are you bringing a guest? And I made sure I said no. I'm gonna come solo, and that's when I know.
There's your chair.
And that's when I know. I told Teddy, look, man, you got to remind me about that too. And I guarantee, motherfucker.
I told Isaac 3 weeks
ago. I
ago.
don't know, man. I mean, everybody had all this trouble RSVPing, but Howard did everything right.
I know.
Well, Howard just says no right away.
How did he do everything right?
He says no right away.
Hey,
because
it's
he's
better
not
than
going
you.
anywhere.
It's better than Robin, who gives you a yes, sort of, and then a no.
He stands, I mean, he says, I can't
Just fucking say no.
Isaac, how long ago did I tell you that Artie was definitely not coming to your wedding, even though he RSVP'd yes?
Doug predicted this thing.
Why would you think that?
Because look, I'm right.
And
I know, but have I done this in the past?
Well, I don't know if you want to get into that. But
I did.
Sort of.
When?
It was a shoot.
Oh, well.
Yeah, sort of.
But that was a work.
Sort of, right,
But
sort of.
I'm
Yeah,
also concerned about Artie sleeping for a day and a half. What did you do on Friday night?
Well,
I played.
He hibernates like a bear.
You know what I
think
did?
he eats an enormous meal and and then goes into a cave somewhere.
Friday night, there's these guys I play poker with every once in a while, and they're sort of high rollers, even for me a little bit. And I sort of really the guys I've known for years, but I sort of really gotta get in the right mood to play poker with these guys.
Which means?
And
means he gets wasted.
We played a big game of poker, and I got home at 7 a.m. and I explained this in my note. I got home at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. The wedding was on Sunday, so I went out Friday. We played this 18-hour poker game.
How much did you lose?
I actually won. We have $8,100.
Really?
I won $8,100.
Impressive.
But this is the same game I lost 38,000 years ago.
So you're down.
Still. And I got home at 7 a.m. Saturday, and I had a nice big breakfast. And I went to sleep, and aside from getting up to take a leak, I didn't wake up again until 5:30 p.m. on Sunday.
Wow.
Oh so I slept for like
a bear.
32 hours. And
Well, you should have seen him in my house. He was like the whole.
You didn't know if Artie was coming out of that
I said,
room,
what if Artie died? I couldn't open the door.
As a matter of fact, I was so afraid that I was going to just keep continuing sleeping at hours.
Ed, you're on the air. Go ahead, and then we'll get to Richard. Yes, Ed.
Hey, I think Artie's back on heroin.
I don't think so.
He's missing the wedding. He's carrying lots of cash with him. Who carries all that cash with him?
Well, when you're going to play poker, what are you talking about?
All right, let's go to...
like the cash I gave to
Ralph.
$300 out in the Hamptons. The world is not exactly your oyster, Ralph.
Yeah, Mike, you're on the air in Toronto.
Yeah, it's Paul. I just wanted to go back to the thing about Ralph asking you for cookies. What was that all about? Pack my bag and throw some cookies in there.
Well, we had these delicious homemade cookies. And,
Unbelievable.
He was all angry that not only did he have to go back to Jersey City, but that he missed the cookies that were going to be for lunch.
He's still thinking about the cookies.
Yeah.
Well, where's the manners, too? He just calls and says, do it.
Yeah, well, that's why he gets this thing about being entitled.
Now, where did he go in California? Because
well, Sam Simon and him had a falling out, so he's glomming off John Stamos.
So he took the Stamos invitation.
He went to Stamos' house. Stamos went to Burning Man out in California. And left Ralph the house for the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. So he goes, I'm glad Stamos has kind of got the place to myself.
Oh my goodness.
I'm thinking of the week Ralph had last week, and again, my great week ended.
Yeah.
When I got on the helicopter.
Right.
His was just beginning.
He had other plans.
What do you want to say, Richard?
Back to the Artie sleeping thing. We took a nap together on the Rescue Me set in his trailer, and this assistant girl, I felt so bad for her. She had to wake him up from his nap, and he was like out of it. She was like, Artie, yeah, and Langford's there with a microphone recording it all. And he looked so funny when he woke up. He just stared and looked around like he was just been born or
really,
something.
I'm
like a
so,
baby.
Like
at
a
that
crazy
point,
kind of sleeper.
On that point, I'm so depressed. But I got back from this card game. I had won a little money. I was a little hungover. I had cold pizza that was left over in my refrigerator and 2 Cokes.
Ugh.
And then I fucking I slept. I slept for 34 hours.
Me and Doug were talking at the wedding.
I don't even think that's possible.
We were talking. We wanted to guess. Like, I'm sure Artie is giving Isaac a ridiculous amount of money because he didn't make the wedding. Like he's throwing money.
Listen,
at him.
You got to tell me how much.
Giving him all of his
Isaac's
winnings.
gone already. I hung up on him. I didn't mean to hang up on him.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
must have.
there's a reason that Isaac had a wedding on a Sunday on a holiday weekend in the morning because they had low budget.
Yeah.
So
I
one
know.
seat was a big deal.
I know. And I
What'd
felt
you give him?
I'm not saying
Come
that's
on.
up to Isaac if he wants to. But the one thing I will say to Isaac, I said, please just don't waste your time arguing with me.
Give me over under $3,000.
Is
ripping
it
up
4
the check.
figures?
Is it over $3,000 or under?
Is it 4 figures? Yes, it's 4 figures.
Okay. Is it over or under 3?
Oh, jeez. I'm not getting into that.
Because you might have gone completely berserk with
well,
guilt.
that's the other thing.
You go completely
That's
berserk.
because I know his wife. His wife is wonderful, but I don't really know her. So it's like I guarantee you, the note that I wrote. I just tried to think of every awful way to insult myself. And then at the end, I said, look, I'm sure this figure is inappropriate, but please, what else would you expect at this point? I have no other way to
make up.
Yeah, and again, this is you can see why I.
Artie's insane with money because I'm a pretty good tipper. I really am. And this guy, like, we go to a concert, and they had a bartender there, and he says to the guy, not even a bartender, like a guy serving drinks.
Right.
And he just says to the guy, you could tip him $50.
Uh-huh.
And then, like, he gives...
I was going to ask
But
Artie,
those guys do pay attention to you for the rest of the
I was
night.
going to want to make sure I never without a drink. And I'm
Well,
like...
he's got a problem.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Artie, because I noticed it. I got to say, you are the most amazing tipper I've ever seen. I watched you the whole weekend.
He goes to the helipad, for example. Some guy takes his bag out of Artie's car and puts it on the helicopter. Artie gives him $100.
It was like that was like a 10-foot walk. That guy brought it into the thing. It was like a 10-foot walk.
$100?
He's Jackie Gleason.
Again, it's and the thing, it's not out of kindness. It's out of insane insecurity, which is why.
Like, are you afraid that guy's going to talk bad about you?
No, I don't know what it's. No, because I tip with money I didn't have before I had money. I would over tip.
I thought you were just too lazy to get change of 100, so you just give everyone 100.
Maybe
that has happened before.
That
has without question happened before. It's like, I don't want to. I'm like, just take it. I don't know.
I mean, but even handing Ralph $300, it doesn't take $300 to get back to
Well, I wanted to make sure, look, there's no way this fucking guy could not get back.
It was very nice of you.
But, I heard you guys had a bet whether or not Ralph was going to pay me back. Was that true?
I don't know.
I did. I said
we did.
You the only one that said he would pay back. Ross and I both said he wouldn't pay back.
And now he's going to pay back because
he will pay back.
Well, now you've embarrassed him.
Right, but he will.
But
pay
he wouldn't have paid back had it been left.
Now,
you have no radio show.
So he never paid you back.
Right.
Not yet.
As of now, but I'm sure you're right, Howard. I'm sure he'll pay me back eventually. Now,
did he ever pay you that bet?
Although actually he didn't. And I was up in the air, and I was out on the air just the same way.
Dominic Barber, you're on the air.
Yeah, I don't think he should feel bad asking about the wedding because when my daughter got married, Robin never told us whether she was or wasn't coming. Right to the wedding date.
It's terrible.
Hey, did Robin bring a weird 13-year-old girl to your wedding?
No. And Howard.
I asked that. I had a guest. You wanted me at your wedding.
I think you asked me like the day before. It was like a day or two before.
Oh my God!
No, really,
You're still carrying on about
It's just funny. It's just odd behavior.
It's odd behavior.
This is why weddings. I'm telling you.
I hate you, and now I'm sorry I ever came to your wedding.
I loved having it at the wedding, but more than a few people. Like that was at the time where your sexuality was in question.
Right, I have a 13-year-old girl.
And everyone's like, "What's with Robin and the 13-year-old girl at the wedding?"
Yeah, but you assumed she was also a pedophile.
Yeah, I have a 13-year-old.
People just thought it was weird.
I always suspected you were a pedophile.
Howard, did you think it was weird? Seriously, people thought.
I don't remember. I don't, but Dominic, I think Dominic's thing is very, very relevant. That's not right, Robin.
But Howard, do you remember how
I was on the fence the whole time.
Not to RSVP is wrong.
I was on the
do you
fence.
remember how you got out of my daughter's wedding? It was incredible.
I think he had RSVP'd, yes.
No. I left the country. What did I do?
He made believe he went to Europe.
I actually was in Europe.
Yeah.
Right.
He was promoting a film.
Allison came.
And you talk about guys who are overly generous, too. I tried to pay, remember Dominic got me fitted for that suit. I'm trying to pay him back. He refuses to take the money. He ripped up the check.
I don't want money.
Give me my wedding present back, Gary.
Oh.
Did you go on your date with Jimmy Florentine over vacation yet?
Oh, wow. I forgot about that.
No?
No.
I am no longer single.
And by the way, Robin canceled on Gary's dinner party an hour before. So, you know.
Do we have to? And I was sick.
I wish to God, I swear to God, I'm sure Robin was sick, but I wish I would have had tape because it was definitely one of those voices that was getting raspier as the as it went on.
I guarantee you Robin wasn't sick.
I was sick. Why would I?
You had a tickle in your throat.
No, it wasn't. It was much more than a tickle.
You know what I worry about? Women especially take weddings so seriously, and I fucked up in the past with shit
And
like
I
this,
gave
too.
Dominic's daughter a wonderful present.
Very nice.
Very
and
generous.
so did Howard. No, you both gave great presents.
All right, thanks, Dominic. Let me move on because Lisa G's got it. What is it, Doug?
Oh, no, just one more thing about the wedding. When a hillbilly tries to dress himself up in a tuxedo, it was so funny. Richard was so clueless with what he was wearing. You know those like a handkerchief that you wear, like you're supposed to have a nice handkerchief. So Richard had it, and I was like, that looks too
pocket
perfect.
Square. Yeah.
Yeah. So I lifted it.
It was
so
attached.
I pulled it out. It's attached to the cardboard with the price tag on it still. And then he had he couldn't button his shirt, so the button's unbuttoned on the top button with a black T-shirt underneath sticking out.
Richard, you were doing a bit. You know that you can't have the box and the receipt on the fucking handkerchief.
No, I had it inside my pocket where you couldn't see most of the time. Doug just pulled it out.
You never took it off?
No. If you can't see it, why take it off?
Got a point there.
There's Richard.
But I gotta say, Howard, I gotta give you a compliment. Like you Jewish people know how to throw a wedding. It was a blast.
Think all
You
Jews?
Jewish people.
Yeah.
Think all Jews know how to do it?
Oh man, like I
I've
got
been to
to
a
thank
couple of shitty Jewish weddings.
I got to thank Isaac and Susie because it was a lot of fun. They lifted them up on the chairs and everybody was dancing and the booze was flowing. It was a lot of fun.
Richard's like, why are they lifting the Jews up in the air?
It's symbolic of getting away in the Holocaust.
Richard's like, where's the rope?
You say everything's amazing though, so
No, I had a great time.
It was a morning wedding. He was drunk off his ass by like 12:30.
Bill, you're on the air in Harrisburg.
Hey, Howard, how are you?
Free
How you
booze.
doing? First time caller, long time listener. I was actually wondering if Isaac would ask Artie to read the letter over there.
Oh, Artie will read it on the air. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, let's hear your letter.
He said he would let Isaac do that.
Isaac will reveal the amount.
No, he said Isaac could read the letter if he wanted.
Okay, listen.
No, I put the kill on reading Isaac's letter because I just thought it would be real long, but maybe it'd be funny.
It's three.
It's going to be hilarious.
Let's hear it. Come on, read it.
I'm not. There's no way I'm telling you what the check is for.
You gotta
All right, well then just leave out the dollar amount. Just leave out the dollar amount and read the letter.
Let's go blank.
You want Isaac back on the phone to hear it?
Nah.
Yeah, he should hear his apology in person.
Well,
I mean,
you should read it.
again, I wrote this at the height of feeling so. I might have had
Like as soon as you.
I know, it's awesome radio. Definitely.
I might have had a whiskey.
I'm feeling Fred's
I just-
piano music
the
coming on
height
too.
of self-hatred is
Let's
what
hear
I
your
wrote.
letter. Go ahead.
Shibby.
Isaac and Susan.
It's already funny.
It's already great.
Isaac and Susan. Friday night I went out drinking. I got home at 7 a.m. Saturday morning, September 1st.
Here's the chronology.
I passed out, and when I woke up, it was Sunday at 5:30 p.m.
What an incredible life story.
It is now Monday. It is now
Your mom should frame this one. Yeah.
It is now Monday, September 3rd at 10 p.m., and it wasn't until 15 minutes ago that I realized in horror I missed your wedding.
Isaac and Susan, I am a drunk.
Well, listen, words can't express how sorry I am. I consider you guys great friends, and I'm a wreck about it. I offer nothing that can be even barely recognized as an explanation, except to say that I am a mess. I've actually, believe it or not, done this before. Without a woman in my life to take care of me.
This is like the speech in The Godfather.
Listen to this, without a woman. What do you keep bringing that up
Without
for?
a woman in my life to take care of me, like an obese, whining, selfish.
Is this for real?
Pompous.
That's in the letter.
Pretentious ass baby. My life becomes a thick forest of bullshit and chaos.
Good Lord, Artie.
Not that you should care. Believe me, your wedding would have been scarred with my miserable, pudgy, barely shaved, enormous face hovering over it like a self-absorbed, depressed blimp.
Is this for real?
That is not on that paper.
Let me see that.
I'm sure it was wonderful, and
Artie's
it's my.
definitely on heroin again.
I'm sure it was wonderful, and it's my loss having not been there. Look at it this way: at least you have an asshole friend to talk about at parties. Feel free to speak of me loudly, since I will probably be missing another great affair, sleeping through it like a stuck pig filled with whiskey on Excedrin PM.
This is the greatest letter ever.
Does that really say that?
Please accept this check as my wedding gift. If the amount seems inappropriate, don't give it a second thought. What else would you expect at this point? The money is better off with you. After all, how many double-stuffed Oreos and Marlboro Reds can one douchebag buy?
Wow.
Wow.
All the best. You're a great couple. Sorry again, Artie.
P.S. Please excuse the vomit and grease stains on this note.
Jeez.
Can we photograph that note and put it up on howardstern.com? That is the greatest
Yeah,
note
this
ever.
is the regrets note everybody should write.
I let it flow.
Dude, that is the greatest letter ever. Shame on me not having you
If
read
you
that.
ever miss anything, use Artie's
I'm
letter.
inviting you to everything, hoping you miss something.
Wait, go back to that part about where I couldn't even believe it was written. What is that?
That was the without a woman in my life.
Yeah. I got to hear that part again.
Hallmark should make a card out
Without
of that
a
letter.
woman, believe me, I just said fuck it. I'm just going to write this.
I got a feeling his check is for over $5,000.
I would say $5,000.
Yeah.
Without a woman in my life.
Go ahead, read this. Yeah.
Without a woman in my life to take care of me, like an obese, whining, selfish, pompous, pretentious ass baby, my life becomes a thick forest of bullshit and chaos. Not that you should care. Believe me, your wedding would have been scarred with my miserable, pudgy, barely shaved, enormous face hovering over it like a self-absorbed, depressed blimp.
Wow.
Damn.
That's an awesome letter. Dude. Yeah, we have to scan that and actually
Yeah, we'll scroll it on Howard TV too.
Yeah, that's
Put
a good
nice
one.
scroll.
Yeah,
She'll read it.
go ahead. Take it from Artie and scan it, please. That's an amazing letter, Artie. Congratulations.
Wow.
Congratulations.
That's how terrible I felt. I felt terrible.
He took a $5,000 nap.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
What the bottom? Was there something else at the bottom you ripped off?
There's
PS?
something there that's something, yeah, I ripped
Oh, wow.
You ripped it
What?
off?
You ripped it off?
You just ripped up your whole letter.
No, I just ripped the bottom.
The bottom part. Looks
Yeah.
like there was a
There was a
PS or
PS,
something.
yeah.
Oh,
What was
was
the
it-
PS?
Nothing.
What
did
is
it
the
say?
PS?
Nothing.
Come on.
Nothing.
What is the PS?
Nothing. It really is something that I'm not sure Isaac wants on the air.
Oh, this
Something
is a personal thing?
Right.
I am gay. P.S. I am gay.
Nobody's gay.
P.S. I'm gay.
I couldn't show up. That's why I drank. I was butt fucked all weekend long. I woke up in front of the refrigerator. My head was in the door.
That would be a hell of a PS.
My face was in a butter dish, and the butter was
I'm
smeared on my
gay.
ass.
That would be that's the only thing that would have topped that.
All right, listen, now that you're badgering me, all right, I'm a fag.
Artie, that was... You were pulling no punches in the self-deprecating department there.
I felt awful. Terrible, selfish thing to do. What can I tell you?
But, like, all in all, you just made a mistake. You didn't do it purposely. Why beat yourself up that badly about
I don't know. I caught myself in a wrong mood. You know. Today I feel a lot better about myself. I should have wrote it today.
it? Over under 5 G's on the check.
No comment. Under.